Welcome to the Mindset Mechanics Podcast with Juan and Ladybug Jenkins. It's not too late to find, face, and fix what's stalling you. The shop is open, so pull on in.
Welcome to Mechanical Monday. You are in the shop. I am Ladybug
And I am Juan.
Jenkins,
We are your mindset mechanics.
reminding you that it is not too late to find, face, and fix what is stalling you. And when you do that, acceleration is inevitable.
All right. In today's episode titled Convenience Store, we're going to discuss the cost of shortcuts. Yeah. So, Ladybug, why don't you tell the crew what we mean?
Well, convenience is specifically defined as the ability to proceed with something with very little effort or difficulty. But, we like to keep it simple here. So most of us are certainly familiar with convenience stores. You can find them on every corner, doesn't matter what side of the street you're on, and you can usually run in and find exactly what you need. But everyone knows what the issue is with convenience stores, and that is the price is always high. You are going to pay a premium for that, and that's fine if you need a bar of soap or a roll of toilet paper on your way home. But the problem is we can carry that mindset over into real life, into relationships, into our work. And when you get into desiring convenience, as the priority, or we also use the word shortcuts, that's something else people are familiar with, you can really get yourself into trouble. But, Jay, why don't you give us an example of what desiring convenience or a shortcut looks like in real life?
All right. So, let's meet Dale. He's a young single guy with a good job and a great personality. He meets a young lady that he wants to impress, and he finds out that she's a huge music fan. Okay. After seeing her a few months, he hears that her favorite band is coming to town. He asks her if she'd like to go, and she is thrilled. He soon finds out that the demand is high for tickets, and he will have to camp out for tickets or pay hundreds to get them online. So he really likes this girl, but he does not want to spend hours on a Saturday waiting in a long line for these tickets. He sees a banner ad on his screen for a service. There are people that will actually wait in line for you. He does his research and finds almost 100 five-star reviews. Okay. He realizes it's legit, so he signs up to use his service, enters his credit card, and goes about his business. The tickets finally go on sale and is all over the news. He gets the email that his tickets are ready. He picks them up with no issues. The extra $100 was worth it. Front row at the concert of the year with no lines, no waiting. So what are you thinking?
I think Dale has a great job and a great personality, but he doesn't have a great amount of sense. Well, I mean, it's just me. That's just me, in 2024 with scams on the rise. I guess, with the story is saying that there's a high demand for the tickets and everybody's wanting them. And when you get into money and stuff, I remember scalping tickets. I don't know if that's still a thing now, with everything being digital, but I remember the scalping of tickets, and for the convenience of getting tickets at the gate the day of an event, you would pay double, triple, quadruple face value for those tickets for the convenience of not having to stand in line. But man, go ahead. You just tell us what happened with Dale and his dance, okay?
So 6 weeks pass on his concert time now. So he picks up his date and she looks good.
Good.
You hear me there? She sees the ticket and she does everything but scream. They start talking about a concert and how many people wanted tickets so bad. She thanks him for getting the great seats. Dale is feeling pretty good about himself at now. All right. They get to the venue and park. They're in line and they see a couple ahead of them get turned away. They overhear them arguing about fake tickets as they leave. Daniel starts to feel sick to his stomach. The line moves on. then another couple can't get in. His date makes a joke about their tickets being fake just as they reach the gate. The attendant scans and they're in. Dale laughs and jokes back about sitting in line all day for these tickets.
Okay.
The usher shows them to their seats, and a little later, the concert starts. Okay, as Date is singing along and having the time of her life. About halfway through the concert, the lead singer starts to talk about how they're nothing without their fans. Then they wanted to thank the Ride or Die folks for coming out. The screen lights up, and it's a video of all the folks in chairs and sitting around on the ground waiting for these tickets.
Oh.
Dale Date recognized some of the people around them on the front row. So she looks at Dale and asks, "Well, where are you?" All right. So she keeps looking at the screen with a big smile. Then it fades when she realizes Dale isn't answering her. She enjoys the rest of the concert, but is obviously bothered. Right? She asked Dale in the car what happened with the tickets. He told her that the service he used, and she is disappointed. She told him that the front row was nice, but it was thinking that he put forth the effort to make her happy. She told him that she didn't understand why he felt he had to lie, so she broke things off with him not long after that.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. This is a tough one, and I actually feel kind of bad for him. I I get the not wanting to wait in line. I get and then I see her side of it too, because she's basically saying, oh, it was the effort. And as a woman, I understand that. And, a man, he's hunting, he's like a trophy. He's like, I have front row seats to the concert of the year. And that's the goal, that's the target, that's great. But from the woman's side, it was this man who has a good job, he has a life, he has other things he could be doing. He chose to sit in line to get these tickets for me. Yeah, because he thought it would make me happy. And I would rather be sitting in the nosebleeds with someone who put forth that kind of extra effort for me than to be sitting in the front row with somebody who just paid somebody else to do it, while they went to the game or they slept late. So this is a tough one.
I know on the surface it seems more like a story about honesty, but the same, faster, easier mindset makes you vulnerable to being dishonest. If you're looking for a shortcut to start with, you're less likely to do the more difficult thing when confronted or cornered, like telling the whole truth. So, what's in your review on this one?
Yeah, so as we look into the rear view, which is where we use the power of hindsight to, talk about what we may have learned on a topic, my rear view on this one is some of well, arguably the best piece of advice that I have ever gotten is the only way out sometimes is through. And I know that it's good because it's something that the Lord spoke to my heart. I was in a very difficult place, and I did what I always do. I was praying, I was asking the Lord how I should handle it. And, he very plainly said to me, the only way out of this situation, Erica, is through. And we live in a society of convenience. We live in a society of shortcuts. It just seems like there is a store on every corner that has whatever you could possibly need. And you talk about convenience, even looking at the service that Dale used, that is an actual thing. People will actually sit in line for you, they'll stand in line for you. Back when we used to be heavy into Black Friday, there were people that got into a place where you could pay them and they would sit in line for you for that $200 flat screen TV. They would sit in line in your place. And when we had to get those visas, that time for international travel, we're sitting there with our passports, and there's a guy that has a stack of passports in his hand, and his full-time job is sitting in visa offices for all of these countries, getting visas for people while they go about their lives. There's someone that will go to the grocery store for you and do your shopping.
Mm.
There is someone that will, bring your prescriptions right to you. I think it just kind of creates a mindset that's a slippery slope. And so doing things the more difficult way, the more time consuming way becomes less attractive, less necessary. And then you carry that mentality over into your work life or, God forbid, your relationships, and you could end up in some real trouble.
Proverbs 29:20 says, "Do you see a man who is hasty in his words? There is more hope for a fool than for him."
Mm.
That reminds us that you really need to think before you speak. If my guy Dale had just done everything honestly, his words wouldn't have jammed him up.
Right. And, again, on the surface, it's like, well, that's not really about doing things faster or easier. It's about lying, but it just kind of creates, again, this mentality. And that's not what I heard. That's what I know. The reason the Lord had to tell me the only way out is through is because there was a time in my life I was the queen of the shortcut. I was the queen of convenience. I would look at a situation, I would look at a task, an assignment, and my very first thought was, how can I do this as fast as possible? How can I do this as conveniently as possible? Is there someone I can delegate this to? And it has cost me a lot. It has cost me time. It has cost me money. It has cost me even relationships, So we just have to be so careful. And, I definitely don't want to come across as high and mighty on this topic, on any topic ever, but certainly not on this one because I have, like I said, been the queen of the shortcut, the queen of convenience, and I still struggle with it sometimes now. But little known fact to most, that in June, actually, I remember June 22nd of 2006, I had weight loss surgery because I was having quite a bit of difficulty with losing weight. I was an athlete in high school. I was very active. And of course, I had the metabolism of a teenager. And after graduating from high school, going to nursing school and working, a lot less active, a lot more sedentary. And I actually had weight loss surgery in 2006, which means I was, what, 33 years old at that time, if I'm doing the math correctly. And I just thought it was going to be the shortcut to weight loss, to better health. And it worked at first. But surprise, surprise, the same things you have to do to lose weight without surgery, you have to do to lose weight with surgery, but it is not advertised that way. Much like you're running past the convenience store and there's all these big bright posters and you think, oh, that's going to be easy. That's going to be convenient. And so I had this surgery and it worked very well for a short while, but my mindset is ultimately what was going to have to change. And that was not a part of the package that was presented to me. And I struggled for quite a while. And just last year in 2023, I actually had that surgery reversed. And so I'm even on a journey in that with my mindset regarding, eating healthy, exercising, cutting back, telling myself no, this many years later, still struggling because I took a shortcut when if I had taken what seemed like a longer path, a more arduous path, more difficult, I believe I'm convinced that I would be in a much better place right now today, but I'm not because I tried to take that shortcut. I tried to get into that place of convenience, and now it has cost me more time and definitely more money than it would have if I had just done it the right way the first time. No shortcuts, no convenience.
Mm.
So join us next Mechanical Monday to gather more tools to help accelerate your life. And until that time, I'm Ladybug
And I am on.
Jenkins.
Reminding you that it is not too late to find, face, and fix what's stalling you.
Amen.
Amen.
Thanks for stopping by the shop. Tune in next Mechanical Monday so you can get the tools to find, face, and fix your mindset and accelerate your life.